I'm on a mission to rebuild the famous Carlsbad Gap skate spot into a scaled-down fingerboard version. So I headed off to my favorite place to get fingerboard park supplies. I found these perfect and even free grass samples, and a bit of wood that I was gonna need. And can never have too much concrete on hand. Now I was ready to start building. So I laid down my tile base. These tiles kind of look like cement already, so that would be helpful. Then I had to measure out how big I wanted to make this thing, and leave room for some stairs. Once I had the blueprints all drawn out, I could start securing stuff into place. Starting with the stairs, I decided to make them out of tile too because they're cheap and easy. Then I measured and cut out the top deck section. I got everything nice and smooth on it, and then I moved on to the side pieces. Now I could test and make sure everything was gonna fit well and look good. But there was a little trimming that needed to be done on some of the pieces to make sure everything would fit nicely. Then I started gluing the top deck and side pieces all together. More progress coming soon in the next video. Help me put some more work into this Carlsbad Gap fingerboard build. The next step is to make these little concrete hub of rail holder things that are going to be made out of wood. But first I'm going to throw a nice layer of paint over the stairs and the deck piece, because you got to make everything look concrete-like. Now I can finally put it in place. And now I can move back to the stairs. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to secure the rails, but these are going to be a good start. After mocking it up, I realized the rails are kind of too high, so I took it back into the shop to give it some chops. And then decided to drill some holes and glue everything into place. Now I can move on to the concrete ledges that go into the bottom of the hill. I gotta make some forms for the concrete so it'll keep everything packed down and square. Looks ready, so now I can get down to mixing up some crete. You gotta get it mixed up just right so it'll go into the mold super nice. And I'm hoping the concrete doesn't stick to the cardboard. But we'll see how it all comes out in the next video. Stay tuned. Here we go again, working on the Carlsbad fingerboard part. First off today, I'm pulling the concrete blocks out of the mold to see how they turned out. I needed to put a little bit of putty down on them to make everything a bit smoother, so then I could spray it with some paint, and then tack them into place. Moving on now to the grass gap part of the build, which I've been looking forward to doing. I backed it up with some cardboard, and then started getting the grass all sized up so I could glue it down. I have the feeling this grass might need some trimming once it's all in place, because it's kind of long right now. But these little sample size pieces are perfect and super easy to work with. I'm stoked on how this stuff is looking. Gotta fill in all these teeny little gaps. But now it's pretty much all filled in and ready to go. I printed out some stickers to match the yellow paint on the real stairs. These are pretty easy to apply. And after this, the build is pretty much complete. I'm not going to show it off yet because the next video is going to be dedicated to shredding this thing. But then I decided to add in just a few more scaled details. First I just filled in some of the gaps in the grass with some excess grass. Then I glued down a few little cute accessories, along with some moss looking type stuff in the cracks. And the absolute final step was to just attach both of these side pieces. It feels good to say the spot is finally fully done. It's been a lot of work, so let's shred it.